Hey guys, how have you been? It's been a minute. I can think the last time I checked in on here was this past summer when I was in when we were in North Carolina on vacation. So much has happened since then. You notice the scenery is very much different from my prior videos, and that's because we actually moved last July. So we had been living in the city for about 18 years or so, and decided we wanted to get out to the country. And so we did. So we moved away, and we love it out here. It is great. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a walk and talk where I show you around a little bit, and also we can kind of go into the recipe that I'm going to make. But thought I would introduce myself back to the channel. Hope some of you are still around and interested in checking back in. And yeah, I kind of forgot how to do this, so this will be a something new for all of us. So I hope you guys like the recipe that we're gonna whip up and enjoy the little tour. And then, of course, what would be our channel without saying hello to our channel mascot? And turn this around and see if I can do this. Well, as you can see, that wasn't smooth. So I had to turn it off and start over here. But of course, there she is, right? Luna, Luna. Yeah. That we call that pool over there. That's Luna's babysitter because she likes to come down here every afternoon and take a little dip. And the weather's getting pretty warm out here. So it's perfect for that. Now, you would imagine, why would she want to take a dip there when she could just take a dip in her backyard there? And I'll tell you why, is that you can imagine, see all that mud? That turns into a big muddy golden retriever if we do that. So we do that periodically, but not all that often because as you can imagine, that can get pretty crazy. So what we're gonna do? Show you guys around. Well, or attempt to. If my camera cooperates. So as I mentioned, there is Miss Luna. Uh, New house is a little bit different than the old one. A little bit bigger. The kids have their own room down there, which is pretty cool, and got a pretty big shop over there, which is very much appreciated. And then I'll walk around. It's about an acre property. Um, that looks like Mr. Elliott coming home. How we doing? Anyway, he doesn't want to say hi. So we're gonna go around here. The property kind of goes down there. There's a trail down to the water, and I'm gonna walk around over here. Okay, so let's kind of go dive into it, and I'll kind of talk and show you guys at the same time here. So I have made a pulled pork on the channel, I think, twice. Um, and I think I've done a crock pot one, if I remember correctly, and I've also done a smoked one. Now, the thing I've found is that when you do these pulled porks, uh, kind of had to duck under a gate there. One of the challenges is that, the pulled pork decides when or the pork shoulder decides when that's going to be done. And there's no controlling that. Sometimes it can take 13, 14 hours. Sometimes it can take 15 or 16. It kind of just depends. There's some bees for you guys. We also have some bees that we take care of out here for some honey, so that's pretty cool. So it's kind of annoying because if you want to do a pork shoulder for dinner, you just never know when you got to get that thing on, because, like I said, it just varies how long it's going to take. Over here is our chickens. We got about 8 chickens. We get about 8 eggs a day, which is pretty cool. And typically they're out running after me, so I don't know where they are right now, but that's where they live. So, well, no, no, cooperate. There's the old homestead there. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Hopefully this video is not going to just be all over the place. But anyway, let's get back on track. So anyway, what I thought about doing, I saw this technique a while back where you can cook, or I tried this, it made sense to me. Put the pulled pork um, right before you go to bed or in the evening time, right? Let it slow cook. It's going to be the same slow cook. Cook that sucker overnight into the next day. What you get then is you don't have to worry about the timing. It's definitely going to be done. By the time that you take it out, let's say around lunchtime or so, let that thing rest. It's gonna be dinner. I mean, that's dinner right there. And then you get a perfectly smoked pulled pork without having to worry about not having enough time. So that's what we're gonna show you guys how to do. So over there, that's my well. And then behind all that is more property that goes down into a ravine. which is kind of cool. I'll show you guys the view here. It's pretty nice to sit out here with a evening drink and look at the creek. So I built that out there when we got here, a little trellis. So show you guys over here. Like I said, I hope the camera is not too jerky. There's my baby down there. Yeah, that's you, Lou. Yeah, I gotta clean her pool up. Anyway, so that's not a bad view, huh? And then the mountains kind of goes up there. It's gorgeous. Really pretty happy here. It's definitely a change of pace, but that's all right sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. There's all my toys I cook with. And we'll make our way back down here. Go back and see Luna. I'll show you guys. We got a wild. Oh, there we go. Those are cars. You're not interested in that. We got a wild bee hive up there on top of there. That's what that ladder is up there. We just put out a box and then some bees took it over. So that's pretty neat. I love orange trees. Here's my orange tree over here. Big old oranges during the winter time, which is pretty cool. So walking around down here, I am not gonna go. So you could over there is more property, but all that stuff growing up, that's one thing about being on a property is it's got weeds, got all kinds of stuff. It's a lot of work kind of maintaining this place, but it's worth it. Something different. Then you got a trail that goes down there, that goes down by the water. And here we are back at square one. So I have got a cold cocktail over there that I'm going to enjoy. And then when I bring you guys back, I'll show you what we're working with and we'll get that pork on the barbecue. All right, as you can see, that's what we're working with there. That is a pork shoulder, and I've saved you the gory details, right? So pretty much like with any kind of like pork barbecue, whether you do ribs, spare ribs, whatever, you need a binder and then you need your rub, right? And so the binder typically that I use is always like a mustard, just plain old yellow mustard is works just fine. You rub that all over the meat, all sides, right? And then once that's all over there, you get your rub, which in this case, I've just got a barbecue rub. Actually, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know if where you're from, you have like Ace Hardwares. Ace Hardware's like stock in typically like the local family owned ones, like tons of different rubs, like different spices and stuff. So I found one that I like. It's got a little brown sugar. They're all kind of the same. They've got the sugar component, they've got the spices component, and then that's what kind of balances out, right? So you get your mustard on there, you rub all that rub on there. Once we get back, we're going to put this guy in the smoker. And like I said, it's going to be an overnight smoke. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be easy. Then wake up in the morning, you're going to have almost some meat ready to be shredded. So when I bring you back, we'll be back at that smoker. Okay, and we're ready to roll. So as you can see, we've got our uh, pork shoulder here in this. What this is a refrigerator smoker grill. And like, kind of from the traditionalist, it kind of goes away from it because it is electric. I've got all kinds. I've got the non-electric. I had a Traeger, and what I found that is electric works so much better because not only this, you can see down at the bottom, we've got a tray with the water, so that's going to keep the moisture all through the cook. And when you're talking about a 15, 16 hour cook, you need that moisture. It's going to keep the meat. It's really important. And down here, you can see we've got the tray with the wood chips. We're going to continue to replenish that through the evening until we go to bed. After 3 or 4 hours, it's not going to really matter that much to continue to replenish that. It's going to have it, that smoke ring will have surrounded that pork shoulder really well and should be good to go. So, like I said, I think we're about 8 o'clock right now. So, we're going to let this cook overnight. Tomorrow, I'm going to check it. It should be good. I have the temperature set around 220, a little bit lower. Typically, people do around 225. Like I said, about 220 because it's going to be a longer cook. Tomorrow around 10, 11, I'll probably pull it off, let it rest for a long period of time. It's going to be great. And then I have another tip that I'm going to share with you guys about shredding this in a kind of a non-conventional way, but works really good. So that's our cook for today. I'm going to share you down here. We've got my co-pilot, Lulu. Yeah, that's my baby. Yeah. She's she's always happy to spend time with her dad. So, everybody, thank you again for joining me this evening. I'll end on a good view note here. We got the creek down there. It looks pretty good. We got a sunset, I think. Well, it's gonna let me do it. There we go. All right. Beautiful evening. Thanks for joining me again. As I've said in the past, if you like these kind of videos, enjoy this kind of content, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and when I come back, I'll show you our next tip. Back tomorrow morning. Bye. And we are back. Okay, as you can see, our pulp shoulder has been on for about 15 hours, about 200 degrees, and it is beautiful. The bark, the outside looks perfect. I don't know if you can tell, but that bone right there, how the meat's pulled away from the bone, that's a good indicator that is good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this out and let it rest. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to let meat rest after you barbecue it. It gives all the moisture a chance to get back into the meat. It won't all drain out once you start trying to shred it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to let it rest for maybe about an hour, and then we will move on to tip number two, which I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Be back in a bit. We are back. Okay, as you can see, we've got our pork right here. It's been resting for about an hour or so. It's looking really good. Like I mentioned before, we got that great bark on there. Now, what we would expect at this point is this meat should just come right off the bone. So, like, there's different preferences, right? So, some people want big chunks of meat on a sandwich. That's fine. I kind of like a little bit more of a consistent texture and flavor on that sandwich. So, I've heard I got this great tip. This is tip number two. You can use this KitchenAid. No, we're not baking. We're not baking today. We are going to shred this meat using this, and it's going to come out perfectly. You can make it as texturally like different sizes, as small or as large as you want, but it kind of makes it all uniform, which is what I'm going for. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and like I said, this should. Oh, guys, look at that! This comes right off of there. So tender. We're going to get that in there, and you can do it in smaller batches. That way it gets to the consistency that you're going for. Oh, that looks just beautiful. Just right off that bone. And you've got the bark blended in with that moist pork. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, let's start with that. And like I said, this is not going to take long at all. We're going to get that in there. We're going to lock this down, put that on kind of a lower speed, and it's just going to shred it right away. And so I'm going to let this continue what it's doing, get the rest of this shredded. When I bring you back, we're going to go in for that big bite and try this out. Be back in a bit. We've got our pulled pork here. As you guys can see, that turned out about perfectly. I cannot wait to give that a try. This is real simple at this point. Actually, I would say that this whole recipe is fairly simple, but yields a pretty nice outcome. I hope. Let's see what we got. So very simple. We got our pork. We've got some bun here, whatever barbecue sauce you like. Another thing that would go great on this, I don't have any today, would be a little bit of coleslaw. That would be good. But hey, without further ado, let's go in for it and see what we got. A little healthy portion of that. Well, that's gonna go over there. Tasty. And then some of this. Hopefully I don't make a big old mess of my face. But I can't not do the big bite for you guys. So anyway, we're gonna go for it. See what we got going in. That is great. Smoky, sweet, rich. Nothing better. A perfect sandwich. Wow, that turned out perfectly. Great weather for it. And once again, I'm glad for all those that came back to check out my videos. Hope you enjoyed it. It's good to be back. This was pretty fun. We'll see if we can get more of these going in the future. And as I always say, if you like this type of content, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Bye.